hot out today. So I'm putting up my new Haven tent. I'm going to show you how this works. So the mattress is all blown up. The key with these things is make sure you blow the mattress tight. I see people whine on the internet that they don't do well, but the key is when you have a tight mattress, it holds the whole thing flat. So the other thing I'm doing right now is, well, that's interesting. Let's save that. Putting a mattress or a sheet on keeps it a little quieter, keeps it a little warmer. I don't think I'll need a bug net tonight, but I'm going to keep it on anyway. Just because there's a chance that there is a mosquito that comes out. Here's my pillow. And voila. Let's see how she works. All set up. Now that we're all set up, I can show you the inside of this just a little bit better. Like I said, it's not for some people, but you know, when I laid in my hammock, when I slept in my Blackbird, which was a wonderful, the War Bonnet, which was a wonderful hammock, I sleep on my side and I could never get a good night's sleep. It was not comfortable. No matter what I did, no matter what I tried, I laid sideways, I tried different lays, everything else. So I saw the ad for this, and it's a game changer. So it's got this real firm air mattress right here that hooks in down to the sides, like this. And that really just keeps it, you can see, it's just like laying on a regular bed. It's also got these spreader bars. Again, you know, it's probably 7 to 8 pounds for this whole, probably 8 pounds for everything. That includes my sleeping bag, maybe closer to 9. But you know what, when you get a tent, a cot, all that stuff, you're getting pretty close to the same size. You know, obviously my hammock was less weight, it just was, but this is it doesn't take up much room in the backpack. And you know what, my belief in the Boundary Waters or camping is a good night's sleep and staying warm are the two most important things. You can handle all the weather, you can handle everything, but if you don't have a good night's sleep and you don't stay warm, you're miserable and it's not much fun. So I'll take the extra weight for a good night's sleep. I love it. It's got a ridge line up here that you are able to use to hang stuff from if you're inside, so you don't have to set up a tarp. Yeah, this is it. Love it. Haven tent. All tarped up in case it rains. Ready to make some camp. Beautiful day.
5 years ago, I was that person in debt. Scared, overwhelmed, feeling like I'd never get out.
It's nighttime. First night in the Sylvania Wilderness. Inside my hammock, my Haven hammock tent. Slight chance of rain tonight, so we'll see what happens, but it rained hard a couple times that I was in this in the Boundary Waters and stayed nice, toasty, and dry. It's a little warm tonight, but we'll catch you in the morning. Not like this today. we are at day 2. Today we are heading out into the wilderness, going out into, we're going to start in Clark Lake and end up somewhere over by High Lake, I think, and see what we find. So we're all packed up and ready to go. Should be a great day. Weather's going to be warm, but it's pretty calm. This is Crooked Lake, first lake from the entry point. Really clear water. Coming out into the big open spot of Crooked Lake. Portage into High Lake. Around High Lake. Let's see what this lake looks like. Got a big island in the middle of it. We're coming into the Raccoon campsite. Holy moly, is it clear here. This is on High Lake. Cat campsite here on High Lake. We're going to check this site out. It's pretty cool in here. These large forests, or these virgin forests, are amazing. All right. Let's get out and take a look. It takes a little getting used to, because at the there's a robin. Good grief. In this wilderness, the campsites are set off the lake, so you can't the fire grate and whatnot is at least 50 yards off the lake. So you got to kind of do a little hunting. But I found it. Got a nice place here, big open spot. This would be good for several people here at Bobcat. Raccoon, my cell phone went off, but here I don't. You see. Oh, I guess I got cell service here too. Oh well. But as I take a look, there's places for hammocks, lots of tent spots. We'll spin this around. All right, there's the fire grate. So you can see it's not terrible far off the lake. I like it. Now I got to find the latrine. Looks like there's a path this way. Now the thing in these old growth forests, these virgin forests, it's not like the Boundary Waters. You can walk for a ways and see where you are. You don't get lost in the underbrush, 20 feet out of your campsite. It's actually quite remarkable to look at these gigantic old growths in here. There's no underbrush at all. So you can see a long ways. I think right over this gigantic hill on my side is another lake. Check that out. Oh, look at that. There's a latrine. All right. This works. Looks like we found the lake. This is Kerr Lake. This is a real small one. This reminds me of the lake between Lake 1 and Lake 2 in the Boundary Waters. Hardly a lake, more of a swamp. But it's not a swamp, it's certainly a lake. Whew. Got a little bit softer bottom here. But we're okay. So careful. The Kerr Lake to West Bear Lake portage. Looks like it's 40 some rods. No big deal. We're heading into West Bear Lake. I've been putzing around all day exploring, and we're still only a couple hours into this, so it's a lot smaller, shorter distances than I'm used to, but it's sure nice. Beautiful day with no wind. Oh my goodness, can't ask for a better day. All right, we're headed from West Bear Lake to East Bear Lake. There was somebody camping on West Bear. It's a pretty lake. Now it's a hop, skip, and jump to East Bear Lake. West Bear or East Bear Lake now. I want to find a campsite. Looking for bobcat and some lunch. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the nicest day of paddling I've had all year. I know Paul Oman and I had pretty good stuff when up in where were we? Up in on the Gunflint, but this is the difference. There is we did have a little bit of wind, and it was just a little bit hot. Today it's like 73, 74 right now. I don't know if you can see, but it's glass. Total glass. All right, we're going to explore the Wolf campsite here on East Bear Lake. Crooked Lake. This lake is green with algae. They weren't lying on Facebook. Alright, I'm going to find a place to stop and have a snack. Looks like there's some campsites, there's an island. Going to explore this island for a while because my car's at the parking lot on Crooked Lake, so that'll end this loop. But I got a few miles to go, so we're just going to go explore. We just had lunch at some place. I don't even know where we are. Somewhere on Crooked Lake. Nice place to have some lunch. Now we're going to go back out and paddle some more. We've now hit, this is Clark Lake. This is a pretty big lake. Apparently there's lake trout out here too. So we'll just do a little exploring. Lots. That's all I know. I don't know how many miles. I'll figure it out when I get home. Beautiful day to paddle. Glass most of the day. Little breeze picking up now. But the cool thing is I went swimming. My battery wore out, so you can't see a lot of my video here from the whole day. I forgot to change batteries, so basically a lot of this day is gone. But I got battery now. I was able to find one back at camp, and so we're good. But yeah, went swimming. Here it is, the 3rd of October, and I went swimming and the water was darn right warm. So that was good. I'm gonna start making some breakfast or some lunch now. So when I'm soloing, I use Starbucks instant coffee. Quite honestly, for instant coffee, it's not bad at all. It's a lot less of a pain than throwing away grounds, carrying them around and whatnot. This is my bear vault. So one of the rules in the wilderness is you need to make sure that your food is either hung properly or put in a certified bear-proof or bear-resistant container. No such thing as bear-proof. So I use this. It's great. It's a little bulky. I also have a bag, a Kevlar bag that works if I'm just going out for a short period of time, or you don't need extra room to pack. But this is scent proof, so it keeps things smelling, where hopefully the bear can't smell it. And then you just hide it at night. I bought these used a couple of years ago before the Forest Service instituted the policy that you have to protect your food. So I got them really cheap from people that just didn't like them, and now they're like prime and premium. I got like 3 of them plus my bag, so they work nice as a table and whatnot. But a little bit bulky, but not so bad. You can usually carry, well, basically I got 4 days worth of food in this without any problem whatsoever. So, and that's carrying bulky food because I brought the military MREs instead of just dehydrated food. If I had just dehydrated food, Ryan and I, when we've gone out into the wilderness, 2 of these will last us on an 8-day trip pretty easily. So that works out really well. So yeah, so that's what we got going on with that. Kindles are much less bulky than books. Just saying. So just like the Boundary Waters, there are trails that go through this wilderness, and I'm going to take one going about 4 miles in to find Corey Lake. Kind of like, you know, I guess they got the Keck and the Powwow and the Sioux Hustler, and this is just another one of the trails that go through into the wilderness. Hoping to get out to Corey Lake, and just a little lake, I guess. We'll check it out and maybe have some lunch there and then see what else we're going to do the rest of the day. So here we go on a hike. It's kind of cool. I don't know if you can see behind me, but this trail, apparently this whole park or wilderness area was purchased by a guy back in the 1800s who was going to log it and then decided that it was too beautiful to log, so he turned it into like a hunting sportsman's club type place. So this is all virgin forest as you go through here. You see it behind me, gigantic pines, hemlocks, maples. But this trail that we're on, apparently they did build some roads in here back in the early 1900s. And the roads were just rustic roads for the sportsmen and the hunters to be able to get back into the wilderness. So they were like logging roads. But you can see that's what this trail is on. It's an old road. Like I said, from the early 1900s. This thing was purchased by the U.S. Forest Service back in 1966. So it's been a wilderness ever since. So none of these roads have even been in use since, well, 60 years. But they're still pretty profound. It's really kind of neat to walk on these. But like I said, I've really never spent this much time in, I guess, what might be a virgin forest, or at least pretty darn close to one. And it's just amazing how far you can see through the woods because there's no underbrush, and these gigantic pine trees are here. They're just enormous for miles and miles. But you can see a long way. It's not like crawling through the brush or even the underbrush of the boundary waters or the buckthorn around the house. It's just wide open woods. So it's a lot of fun. Well, I'm at the cutoff to go to Corey Lake, but it's early, so I'm going to keep on walking. I think it's like another mile, and I can hit Clark Lake, and then maybe Loon Lake. So I'm just going to walk for a while until I decide to turn around. Too nice in the woods today. Idea of how big these trees are by seeing I'm leaning up right against it. It's a white pine. It is gigantic. These trees are all over in here. Well, a couple miles in, we have hit the Clark Lake intersection. I was in my canoe on this yesterday, not this far. I'm way down to the south end of it. There's a big lake. Met a guy walking on the route. I may follow this back on the way back, I don't know. But I'm gonna sit here and have a snack quick, and then I'm going to head off to Loon Lake and maybe have some lunch, and then we'll see where we go from there. About a 4-mile hike from where I started with my car, and I hiked it instead of paddling it today because hopefully you can see it wouldn't have been too much fun of a paddle. It's pretty windy. This is the reason I didn't go to the boundary waters as well, because this wind on this smaller lake magnified on a bigger lake up there would be nasty. to say the least. So I just hiked 4 miles in. You could paddle this down Clark Lake if you wanted to. There's a couple of campsites back along here, but obviously I'm not going to go that way. And now I have to hike 4 miles back out, but I made it. Beautiful beach. I was gonna have lunch here, but it's still a little early for lunch, so I'm just gonna hike on back, stop in the woods somewhere, and maybe on Clark Lake or something, and have a bite to eat. But it's a beautiful day. It's good. It's like 78 degrees, but this wind along the lakes are keeping it cooler. That's kind of why I think I'm gonna skirt the shore here for a while and kind of bushwhack my way back to Loon Lake, or to Clark Lake. There's no trail, but I can't get lost because there's a portage. I can actually see it from here, so I'm just gonna skirt along the edge and do that. So I'm in the middle of the woods, kind of by Clark Lake, the south end of it, but I think this opening here just in the middle of the woods, it goes for a little bit, used to be a lodge. That's my guess. It's not grown up, it's just cleared out. There used to be buildings here, I think back in the early 1900s, well over 100 years ago, that the Forest Service took out. But back when this was not wilderness area, this was the lodge area, and it makes sense because it goes right down. There's a trail that goes, you can kind of see there's like an old road that runs right down by the lake down here, and I don't know if you can see, but it's really, there's just some cleared out spots here. And then when we get right here to the biggest cleared out spot out in the woods, if you turn that way, there's a road that goes down to the lake, or an old road. It's all grown up, but you can see bits of it. So I kind of think that's what it is. I'm not a historian, I don't have a map, I'm just guessing. The name of this trail is the Thompson Lodge Trail, so I'm guessing that's what this is. My guess. Looks like we can go up in here just a little bit. So it's raspberry bushes now. And there's trail. Found this pretty little lake. Not real big. Off the main lake on the Clark Lake Trail. This is a little bit more of the trails that I'm used to. Still a lot of old growth forest. Never been logged. So the wind here continues to intensify. Glad I'm not having to paddle out of the boundary waters today, because the winds here are like less than what they were predicting up there. Would not have been a fun day in the Prism. Made the right choice. I think I'm about 7 miles into a hike right now, so I'll be pooped by the end of the day. Nope, not a lot of fun to paddle by myself. Not even with someone. Not even on this smaller lake. This is Catherine Lake. Doesn't show a portage, but there's a trail that comes down here, probably about, I don't know, 500-600 yards. 500 yards maybe, and a nice little lake to paddle. So as you can hear, the wind is still just nasty, so I'm not going to, but next time I'm here, I think I will.